autumn weather conditions greet the riders for the second 125cc leg here at Donington Park, the sixth and final race in this Shell Advance International Series. And Carl Nunn has to have a good result in this one. It is by no means over yet. He's on 79 points. Neil Prince is on 65, and James Dobb is on 64. We saw what Dobb can do here, and he starts from the very, very inside line on the Suzuki. He's nearest the camera, number 72, and he drops into second place. Yes, he was pipped to the post, but only just for a split second, I think. Away goes the race leader. It's Dobb in second on the Suzuki, on the yellow Suzuki, easily identified, but he's following the man in front of him, the number 26, Neil Shepherd. What a cracking start he had, and he started from midway up the gate. And I looked at the way those riders lined up before the off, and it really was something of a gamble that James Dobb took, hard on the inside, but it almost paid off. He's in second. Shepherd leads him, number 26. Everybody else safely round, but a relatively mediocre start for number 2, Carl Nunn. There's number 4, Neil Prince, taking the wide line round, slipping the back wheel of his bike out and driving hard. He's in third. Dobbs in second. Number 38, Kelly Swanson, is in fourth. There's Jorgensen, the Dane, number 6. High in the air they go, and still it's Dobb in second place. That's a cracking start, isn't it, David, for Shepherd, number 26?
Yeah, that's right. Neil is a very, very good starter. He gets whole shots a great deal of the time at British Championship events, but it was interesting that he actually made the start from the middle of the pack. James has been starting up the inside most of the time and making good starts.
Well, he's passed. Up in the lead now goes Dobb, number 72, the Suzuki man passed. Shepherd, though, fighting back. Going with them still, number 4, Neil Prince on the Honda. So, it's the Suzuki leading. In second place, it's Shepherd on the Yamaha. Then it's a Honda in third. 3 different makes of motorcycle, and you could almost get a tent over the 3 of them. Prince is now looking at Shepherd. Number 26, Shepherd, I think, is going to come off second best here, but no, a stutter of the back wheel from Neil Prince. Lost the momentum, and Dobb is not running away with it. Kelly Swanson, number 38. Kelly Swanson, number 38, in all sorts of trouble, threw away 4th place, and nobody hit him. It never ceases to amaze me, David, how the riders, when they fall off, stay out of trouble.
It's amazing. Some of the lads can have really spectacular crashes. Oh, and there goes Neil Prince. Oh, my word, that was an enormous crash.
He got it sideways. The back wheel was going sideways when he took off the second jump, so they're falling thick and fast. There's Prince, parked in the middle of the circuit, in the bottom of the valley, stamps it into gear, drops the clutch, swings the front wheel round, and he's back in business. But he lost a lot of places. A lot of people went past. 64, Danny Smith, he goes well. 74, the rider with him, Adam Lyons. So even all the way down the order, the action is furious. 30 riders started this race. It's a long race. The circuit, almost a mile and a half, built to Grand Prix specification, Grand Prix width, hoping they will run World Championship events here. And certainly, if this event is anything to go by, more than worthy of it here at Donington Park. Number 7, John Locke, retires out of the action here at Donington, but meanwhile, Carl Nunn, number 2, is charging. Right ahead of him, number 5, Greg Hansen. Carl Nunn is having to work very hard because he knows the championship's at stake here. Number 74, ahead of him, Adam Lyons, putting in a fantastic performance. These are names I'm not familiar with. I'm not too sure that the expert sitting to my left is familiar with all these names, because there seem to be a lot of men going very well here.
There's a lot of lads out here desperate to put on a good show. Adam Lyons, the young Irish boy, has actually made a lot of progress in 1997, and he's actually becoming quite a force.
Mark Jones, number 40, that's a man we've seen going very well. The Welshman, Mark Jones. There, the veteran, one of the veterans in this race anyway, Greg Hansen from High Wycombe, who's ridden everything from a big 600cc 4-stroke all the way down. 125s, in actual fact, are really where Greg Hansen made his name. He's ridden at World Championship level. He's now riding in the Amateur Federation, but for putting in a terrific performance here among the best in Britain. There's number 40 again, Mark Jones, still on his Honda. What a fantastic performance he's putting in. And ahead of him and charging hard now, the man who is making up ground to the best of his ability, Number 74, the Irishman, Adam Lyons, and he's proving to be a very hard man to beat. Number 5, Greg Hansen, still charging hard. There's Lyons, there's Jones, number 40. So these three having a really, really good scrap. And it looks as though one of them has picked up something hanging there. Stephen Sword on the Kawasaki, number 30 is closing. That's a bit of ribbon. No, it's not. It's stuck from the roll-off on his goggle lens. It looks as though it might be. Mark Jones has stalled it. The back wheel locked up, coasted to a halt. Too much rear brake, kicks it, fires it up, stamps it in gear, and away again, but he lost no less than 6 places. Hansen, with that stuff trailing, that's Perspex reel from his roll-off goggle protective lens, trailing from his left sleeve. That'll give him a bit of a problem, put him off maybe.
That's right, that's the roll-off. It's the film that they have across their lens. And if a stone comes off of the back wheel and catches the canister on the side, it can explode, and then you have the whole reel behind you. It's not a major problem, it's just something that's catching the corner of his eye all the time. Hopefully it will just tear itself off shortly.
Number 6, Brian Jorgensen, teammate to Carl Nunn, the man who desperately wants to win this championship and stands every chance of winning this championship. But of course, Jorgensen has got to fight his way past Neil Shepherd, the fast-starting Neil Shepherd, who led this race from the gate and is now running in a very, very comfortable position indeed. But Jorgensen was cleaner. He was tidier. He came through on the inside. Over the hill he goes. Jorgensen grabs the inside line and makes Shepherd go the long way round, and I think there's no fighting back for Shepherd. I have to say, really, Jorgensen, one of those foreigners who rides here regularly in the UK, a brilliant performer. 74, Adam Lyons. Number 30 going hard, Stephen Sword, the Kawasaki man, the distinctive team green colours on the Kawasaki. He's going well too. This is great action all the way down the field, but out in front, no mistaking the leader. Still, it's James Dobb, number 72. Look at Sword, number 30, side by side. On the inside, though, still it's Lyons, but Sword is through. He's got the advantage there, gets the power down, but he went too wide. He went in too hot. And what a great scrap these are having, David.
That's right, it's a tremendous race. Initially, the riders were making mistakes because after the open race, the ruts will be that much deeper. But now they've settled down, they've got their lines, and they're really going for it.
Race leader, James Dobb, number 72. Very, very well aware that the least he has to do is win this race and hope that Carl Nunn doesn't finish too high up the rankings. The number 2 Honda rider, Carl Nunn, there he is. Nunn fighting his way through. He's now back on the rear wheel of Neil Shepherd. So Carl Nunn, with a big job on his hands, he's recovering from a dreadful start. But we've seen already in this race that he's got a lot of fast men in front of him, and it's going to be anything but a cakewalk for the man from Cambridgeshire.
Now, Carl will be relying now purely on his pit signals. He will know that Jamie Dobb is leading the race, and they will be trying to tell him what he has to do. In fact, he's gone past Neil Shepherd now, so he's moved into 3rd place. It will be interesting to see now how his pit board signal him, because he's got his Cat Honda teammate Brian Jorgensen in 2nd place, and the pits will be busy now working out the point situation to see whether in fact Jorgensen has to let Nunn by.
I'm working out the point situation as well, and he's in a 15-point position at the moment. Dobb is on 20 points for the win. He will collect a further 5 as a bonus for the overall win. It's going to be very, very close. But James Dobb leading this one. The crowd applauding already because they sense there's nobody near him and the chance of catching him. There's a little bit of showboating from Jamie Dobb. Rear wheel in the air, looking over the shoulder, because he senses now he's got it. He's just got to ride a little bit carefully now around the rest of the circuit. He's cruising, left hand off the handlebar. The applause evident. Down come the goggles. There is Carl Nunn, number 2, who's ridden brilliantly, I have to say, and might just have done enough to save this championship. He was unlucky in 1996, but it looks as though he's pulled off the championship win in 1997. Ahead of him is teammate Jorgensen. The checkered flag is out for Nunn, and he finishes in 3rd. James Dobb, a brilliant win, nearly 4.5 seconds ahead of the Dane Brian Jorgensen. Shepherd did well to finish 4th. Sword, Jonathan Pettit, but what a calculated ride by Carl Nunn. Was the championship on your mind as you were battling through there?
Yeah, the championship was all that was on my mind. I was concentrating. I made some good passes, and luckily a few riders let me by. Neil Shepherd was, I'd like to say thanks to him for letting me by. You know, I had a clutch burnt out halfway through the race, and also my rear wheel puncture, and it just made things a lot harder. You know, so I'm just real happy that the race is over.
Well, that was a close fought thing. Just 5 points. The win goes to none. He's the new champion. Dobb fought hard, but he only rode in 2 rounds in fairness. Prince, Jorgensen and Shepherd. Next up then, the